Hey, microphone check and screen share check, please. Good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for September 10th, 2022. This is Saturday night, so we'll be looking at swing trade frames. This is one from Friday night. We didn't get to. This is from Woj on Aussie dollar. There was a 14R move early that he wasn't around for in those meetings. He starts trading here. He notices the Kata 2, plays the breakout, scratch, quick loss, gets paid. Now he's about break even. Here's another shelf. This is a collapsing dragon. Gets paid 2.4. And gets a couple more choppy moves that lets him net 1.6 for the day, plus 0.3 on the other two he did. 2R for the day, 13.2 for the week. Pretty good week at work. All right, looking at the sector slope stats for relative strength. You can see that the little pullback we had earlier brought tech, the market, materials, and finance all down from their highs. And the one thing that has worked the best and has been holding up the best, and the last shall be first, is energy. Everything's holding right around zero. So if we do get a recovery here, like we mapped out yesterday, we made the case for that, I thought, pretty well yesterday, then this would act like a Kata 2 for an upward move, which is ready and available to take this up to 430. And tech, with the harshest sell-off, is in the best position to make the strongest recovery run. So that, for me, is going to be the tell. If we see him going to the gas pedal on tech, that's going to be a good thing. Right now, the consumer discretionary is still holding up a little better than staples, so that's actually a favorable posture for a recovery run, so we'll keep that in mind too. All right, now we got about a dozen frames from Ken H. So let's get these queued up. Speaking of queuing up, here's the Qs. Qs have had one nice bump up, pull back, and starting to recover. So on a weekly, it's looking like a Kata 2. Here's your Kata 2 on the daily. And again, with plenty of room for this to run. There's his short side swing trade, a double scoop to the downside, playing that long downward move. The weakness in tech really paid off for Ken H on the short side, and now he's got kind of a Kata 2 entry here with some money in the bank, and he's ready to make this move to here. Qs look very strong and poised, ready to go. The first leg's already in. AMD, the advanced micro, same posture. Nice little recovery. Here's a Kata 2. Here's his WMB3 entry. Double bottom. And on the hourly chart, it looks like an SSC, and he's got a nice little move in hand. And I'd be looking at adding a second position right there. This fell so fast that feels like panic selling, and there's room for this to make a strong recovery. That's the first resistance that I'm seeing around 93. So that's about a $7 move to the upside on a $1 risk. I really like that one. Coinbase is one of his favorite traders. Seen this one, made bank. This one, I think he let it go too long. This is where that stop should have been, like right around in here, because you have a series of lows and then a double bottom, and then it breaks up above this PSAR flip and leaves the river. I think we probably want an exit in here somewhere, and then that entry feels good. As it was, this is a stop and reverse, but he's still in the money, so no harm, no foul. And I think Coinbase is looking to get to 90, so I like that on one position. It really has to get above 98 for that really to be interesting. There's a little recovery run there in crypto, yes, from Friday. Bitcoin, same thing. You know, that feels like some would say that's a dead cat bounce. I would say he's holding a nice trade here. That was a little risky to me. But if you got your stop here below 13, I think you're in good shape. Yeah, I'd be looking to add above 1350 because that gap's going to get filled pretty fast to 1450. I think you're in good position on that one. Devon Energy, he had a really nice run on this one, all the way up from the SSC on the PSAR flip. There's a second leg after it cleared this resistance, a third position all out, and now we've got a triangle coming in here, solid support, tight risk box. I like getting long at 70 and adding a position at 72 and adding a position at 75 on the upside. But if this breaks, I also like that on a move down to 63. So that's a $4 move on a $1 risk, 4 to 1. Add a second position here to get to 60 and add a third position in order to get to 56. So that is a perfect critical state, ready to rock both directions. Like it. Uranium has been on a tear since we alerted on that thing around 18. There was our SSC. That thing has been crushing it. He's got a nice re-entry, so there was a good payoff. He let it reverse. He waited for the emerging dragon. Now he's holding about a 10% gain. My estimate is this risk is probably there. So he's holding 1, 2, 3. And I like a second position above 24 because this big sell-off on the weekly, it wants to get to 28. I like the uranium trade. That's a long-term keeper. Might look at adding copper to that too. If we're going to sell electric vehicles, it needs 5 times as much copper than a conventional car, so copper will be at a premium. Here's lithium, SSC, and a COTA 2. Very nice trade. I like adding a second one right here, to be honest, because I think 78.50, 79.50 are all in range, and then 81. So I like adding a second position. You've got enough cushion here to the upside to protect. You're holding about 3R on that one. I think I'd add, as soon as we get any kind of strength, I'd look for that, adding that. And there's plenty of room for this to go to the upside. I think 79 is the first target. Yeah. SunPower. Yeah, that would be his normal entry, but it moves so fast. He missed it. He waits, therefore, for the emerging dragon. That's okay. We're in good shape. It's at all-time... Well, Not all-time highs, but it has cleared. It has cleared all of this junk. It's got to get above 34. But that move from here to that's another $6, and you're deep in the money. If it breaks above 28, I'd get some more of this. I think that's a component of PBW Clean Energy also. First Energy Corp. This is also a PBW, I believe. Oh no, or utilities. Yeah. Um, it's a little volatile in here, but you can see basically there's some. You can see the Kata 2s a little easier on the daily. And this is only halfway back up the stack off the bottom, so there's another move up to 48 available. But I think about 43.50 is your close target. Yeah, as he's got nailed right here. So that's what he's wanting. I'd wait to see 43.50 to add. I would treat that just as one position, good trade, let it run for you. U.S. Steel, hooray for us. This was such a good entry. Good Lord. You know, that's this trade again. He keeps buying it on value and getting paid. Trying to decide if I want to add a second, if I'd add a second position here with that strong resistance. I think I would do it on an intraday basis only, just in case we get one more jump up to, and then this thing runs up to. If it gets above 27 though, that thing there's no resistance in here at all. That thing's just ready to run. So I think I like a second position. You're deep in the money, and you got a cushion. I like it. Alcoa, not quite as strong as U.S. Steel, um, but it's getting ready. It has to get through 55. You've got one position on. I'd let it get above 55 before I really pile on. I think I'd look for U.S. Steel first. The good news about this one is that there's no resistance. That was just one straight sell-off, so you don't get resistance till 56.50. So I would just trade it once and let it run. You've got the one position on. Let it go. CTLT, boy, that was a Godzilla. Well done, so good. Look at this beauty. You know, it was way oversold on the 150-day look back, the 30-day look back. He gets a SSC entry. All it does with Godzilla is just crush. That whole gap right there is going to fill, and you don't get resistance until about 102. I'd add another one right there, to be honest. I think that's going to go. Godzilla to the rescue. CCRN. This one's a little jumpier, but he's got a nice entry that he was able to hold on to in spite of all this volatility. I kind of like that with your stop there. I'd look to add above 27.50 because it will have cleared all that triple top. That's where you want it to get above 27.50. And if it clears that, you know, the next shot is 30. I would add a third position at 30 once it's cleared that top. Griffin Corp. Another industrial sectors, tools. Would have liked to have been able to catch that Kata 2 right here. But having said that, this is at an all-time high and ready to go. As soon as that breaks above 34.75, buy it. That means it will have negated all of this sell-off. Industrial company. I like it. That looks like I think that's a fireworks play. Pile on it. And then last but not least, Albemarle Corporation, basic materials, specialty chemicals for industrial production at an all-time high. It's cleared the two previous levels. Just go for it. Boy, this is why you like the SSC and the COTA 2s. This is a COTA 2, and then that's an SSC inside a COTA 2, right? So it made the turn with a higher low, but it's also had a harsh sell-off and then crossed the dragon, so you get some entries somewhere in that region, and then you just ride the wave. This is one where you're watching carefully, but if it breaks above that, you can add a second position. So in a perfect world, we could have two positions in here, so I don't mind getting one on with the strength that it's had. Now, this is also one that if it breaks below 290, then it's back into this. It is then back into this trading range. So any break below 290, you could short and think it's coming back to 265. Otherwise, that looks good. All right, that's everything I got. Bill, you got anything for us? Hearing nothing, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight and be ready for tomorrow. Creativity guys from Europe, 10 a.m. Central, and then the regular nightly work at 8:30 tomorrow night. Take good care.